Fashion craze is sweeping across Singapore. Some of the world's top designers will be showcasing their latest collections at Men's Fashion Week 2011.
That's right, the show was previously held in Paris and Milan, and Singapore is the first Asian city to host this 5-day event that aims to position the city-state as a global hub for the men's fashion industry. And let's get a sneak preview of what's in store with the event's chairman, Frank Cintamani, and creative director Daniel Boey. Very good morning to you guys.
Good morning.
So aren't we excited? Men's Fashion Week happening in Singapore. It was in Paris and Milan, and we've brought it to Asia and in Singapore for first stop.
And about time.
Yeah. And about time.
But is there, I guess people might think, well, Singapore's so small, what are we going to do? And, you know, when you think of European men tend to dress up a bit more, whereas here, I mean, you know...
I would position it the other way around. It's because we are small, and it's because we are Singapore, that's why it has to be here, not rather than the other way around. So we're Singapore, and that's why we have to have these things.
Okay.
The first of many such initiatives in Singapore.
Did it take quite some persuasion or convincing to bring it to Singapore? Was it, you know, pretty easy to kind of promote Singapore as the stop if you're going to take it out of Europe?
Singapore is a very simple place to market. You know, we have such wonderful brand equity being Singapore. So anything that's positioned in Singapore has a very nice, strong footing into the rest of Asia. So Singapore is a very, very simple place to sell. And in fact, we had nothing to sell for Singapore. It was a shoe-in for us.
Well, Daniel, let's talk about the event itself. I mean, a fashion week for men. What can people expect from this? Is it only for men?
Well, it's for men and people who appreciate male fashion and male models, right? Okay. And for the first time, not only are we creating a fashion hall just for fashion shows, we're creating an entire fashion experience. We've got pop-up stores. Whatever you see on the runway, you're able to buy it. You're able to experience the entire fashion experience. There's a fashion metropolis, so there's something for everyone. You know, you can spend your time in between the shows, browsing around shops, living the life of a fashionista.
Okay.
Yeah.
So during the 5-day event, what are the highlights that one might want to take note of?
Well, first and foremost, it's about the Asian designers. We've created a platform for Asian designers in Asia by Asians. So it's all about the Asian designers first and foremost. But you know, we've created a very complete and comprehensive, as Daniel says, fashion city. So we've got a lot of concerts and parties and international DJs coming in, international bands coming in. So it's a very nice, festive sort of feel. But fundamentally, it's about the fashion, Asian fashion.
And these are things that I guess men could wear in the region. I mean, because again, we've got to take into account the weather here, the different cultural idiosyncrasies. Yeah.
I think a lot of Singapore men tend to think that you have to dress up in a suit in order to be well dressed, but it's all about wearing the appropriate thing for the appropriate weather. Yeah, you can be in slippers, Bermudas, and a t-shirt and still look fashionable. It's all about the cut and how you put your clothes together.
And gentlemen, I must say, both of you look very coordinated. Is this the hottest look of the season then?
First of all, yes, and it was an accident, pure accident. We happened to be wearing the same designer, a very, very talented designer from Thailand. And his name is Bot, or the label is JJB.
JBB.
JBB. Excuse me,
yeah.
JBB. So a wonderful designer, and I'm wearing his jacket.
I'm wearing his ensemble, yeah.
Okay. So I gotta admit, I mean, I'm not really comfortable with the bow tie. I find maybe it's one of those acquired tastes. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong.
Well, you never know till you try. The first step is always the hardest.
Yeah. I did try it once, and the whole night I was thinking, oh, I feel a bit like a penguin, you know. So
maybe it was just the wrong bow tie.
Maybe.
Yeah, you haven't found the right bow tie for you. Let me style you for Men's Fashion Week.
Actually, that's what I want to ask. I mean, a lot of people say when it comes to men's fashion, there isn't a lot. There's always, you know, you've got jackets, shirts, vests, pants, and the ties are something that you can play with, but that's it.
That's more of a reason to have Men's Fashion Week. You know, you're absolutely right. The silhouette of men's design has not changed in decades. In fact, you could argue that it's not changed in a few hundred years, whereas the design in women's fashion has taken quantum leaps from season to season. Gives us more of reason to want to push out something out there. From what I've seen, you know, I'm a fairly conservative dresser. So I go for things that are wearable. If it's studded and you know, has got this thing coming out of the back and wings and stuff, it's not really reasonable to wear that down the high streets.
Well, we're going to ask you, because a lot of times you go to fashion shows, you see these things and you think, who's going to wear that, you know?
But I mean, likewise, I'm not the sort who can flounce down Orchard Road in a feathered outfit, but I like unusual details, I like great cuts, and that's what the men are looking for nowadays. Men are not, they want more out of the fashion. You know, they want their jackets to fit. A lot of the guys are going to the gym now. They've got great bodies, and they want to flaunt the bodies.
I think think they definitely are paying more attention to the physical appearance when
That's
it comes
right,
to fashion
yes.
for men, and it's great that we've got Asian representative. But I hear that the event is also unique in a sense that, you know, when you have fashion shows of such scale, you are only invited to it, but now we can have a bigger audience.
You know what I say about this? We can still keep fashion exclusive, but never to exclude. There is really no need to exclude in the whole entire fashion realm. And we had to find a venue that could accommodate the kind of numbers and interest that we were trying to appeal to. And the only venue that made itself available to us was, of course, Marina Bay Sands. And the shops at Marina Bay Sands has been absolutely ideal for us to position this sort of event. And we are thrilled because I can't find a better place, indeed, in Singapore, never mind the rest of the region. You know, the massive scale of having a 120,000 square foot space
So
to
how
present
can I
this.
invite myself to the event?
You have a standing invitation, my dear.
But people can buy tickets.
yeah.
The public
Absolutely,
can buy
absolutely.
tickets, right?
We've committed to having at least 30% of the tickets set aside for public consumption, and we've also committed to having the entire proceeds donated to charity. We're charging only $40 per ticket, and if you use American Express, you get your 15% discount, and so on and so forth. So it's very affordable. It's not as excluding as you would expect it to be.
Okay.
And 30% of a room that fills 1,000 people per show, that's quite a lot.
Yeah, there will be.
It
So
will be quite a party, fashion party.
so there you go. So if you're into men's fashion or you just like looking at male models, as the guys mentioned, I mean,
Or
I
if
gotta
you wanna
admit, that
just-
is...
If you want to just take away some tips to dress your men as well, then, you know, well, at least
Yeah.
from my perspective. Okay,
Yeah,
thank you guys
maybe,
for coming in.
because in quite a few cases I know the women shop for their men. I don't know about these guys. I
Yeah.
never let my wife buy stuff for me. I told her, it's
I
okay,
think we
thanks,
generally
but...
have better taste, so we know what looks good, huh? No?
I'll
Stereotyping.
just be quiet for now. That's all right.
I've been getting C-Fig at Men's Fashion Week 2011 Singapore with the event's chairman, Frank Cintamani, and its creative director, Daniel Boey. Now, you want to take note of this event, Men's Fashion Week 2011, held in Singapore from 30th of March to 3rd April.
And is at Marina Bay Sands. To book your tickets to the various fashion shows, just visit the website. We've got the address on screen right now. So all starts from tomorrow.